got a text earlier on, just before we went out on track actually, and it was from Michelin. And I've got you another challenge.
This is my 2019 challenge I've been working towards.
In an LMP1 race in the World Endurance Championship on a Michelin tyre at its optimal performance can run for 750 kilometres.
Okay.
So that's a fact to bear in mind.
It's quite far.
Because what you've got to do is, with one car on Michelin's, and one bike on Michelin's, and a set of trainers, with one tank of fuel in each, and then your natural tank of fuel for the trainers, in 24 hours you've got to cover the most distance possible, and I want you to beat that 750 kilometres.
We've revealed the car, we've done the bike tyres, and I've got my Michelin trainers. We've got the 24-hour challenge in a couple of days' time. I've had my last training session. I'm going to get home, I'm going to mentally prepare myself. I've got the strategy in my head. The start line is Brands Hatch, so I have got 24 hours to achieve 750 kilometres on the bike, in the car, and on my trainer. This challenge was designed to be a 24-hour challenge, which I've done before, but I wanted to create something that you guys would not be like, oh, anyone can do that. I wanted to create something that motivates people whilst they're watching this to maybe make a change or do something differently about their life. And obviously having the life-changing crash that I had a few years ago and realizing that there was a moment in my life where I needed to make that change, and to be here right now is inspiring me in a way, and watching back everything that we've done for this series is pushing me further and further every single day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Episode 4 of this insane Michelin journey, as I've been on a discovery quest to understand my own personal performance and endurance whilst having fun with some Michelin cars basically. And today I've got 24 hours with that car behind me, the motorbike sat waiting patiently at home, and my running gear in this rucksack. I am fully prepared, because if I run out of fuel in that before I get to the bike, then I'm gonna have to put my running shoes on and run to the bike. So fingers crossed that does not happen, but 24 hours starts here at Brands Hatch, an incredibly famous part of the British motorsport history, and we're gonna be driving down to Goodwood Motor Circuit, up to Silverstone, then to the bike swap-off point. It's nearly midday. I've got midday to midday tomorrow to cover as many kilometers as possible. 750 kilometers is the benchmark. I'm gonna get set up, get ready before we start this incredible journey. One thing that was stressed throughout the preparation of this challenge was the need to take breaks. Obviously, it's totally unsafe to travel such long distances without taking sufficient breaks, and on a challenge such as this, I needed a frequent moment to relax, gather my plans, and go again. Okay, I did say that midday was the start, but we have got the camera set up now. Little bit of an anticlimax, but it is 10 past 12, meaning that I'm already 10 minutes into the challenge, but it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It is all about physical and mental endurance with a little bit of performance on the side. So let's start this beast up. It's got the same immobilizer as my Murcielago. Oh, right, 3, 2, 1. Oh no, wait. I've actually got 3, 2, 1. When I first jumped into the Evo for the challenge, and I knew that I was going to have approximately 6 to 7 hours spending time in that car, there were a few challenges that I immediately thought of that I was like, this is crazy, because we could have done it in a 2019 modern car where everything is so easy. You can have cruise control, you can have actually comfortable seats, and you can also have semi-autopilots. And I think we're now so used to that in a 2019 automobile. To jump into a car that was 20 years old and to have a manual gearbox, and for you to really concentrate just to keep that car on the road, especially in the weather.
An hour into the drive, we've gone through average speed checks, which limited us to 50 miles an hour, which is a good thing because it's good for fuel economy, but at the same time, it kind of held us back a little bit. And now we've got torrential rain, so I'm driving at 55 miles an hour. The car is steaming up. This is what happens driving a 20-year-old car. I can barely see anything. My visibility is less than 30 meters. We're on the M23 and it's just trickling below full tank. So actually, fuel economy wise, as long as you're cruising below 3,000 RPM, this is a 5-speed manual gearbox, so you don't have too much rev control when it comes to fuel economy. But I really need to get some airflow in this car because it's steaming up. It's becoming incredibly difficult to see, and it's just increasing my concentration levels. I can imagine sort of the same as a Le Mans driver as they're getting into their 19th hour of the race. I'm feeling very much like one of those drivers at the moment, concentrating so hard on the road ahead and really having to limit my speed and also manage my own mental capacity just so that I can make it, because we're less than 2 hours in and we're already coming across an obstacle and we're turning off here, so I need to focus on what we're doing. Turning off here, no more main roads all the way down to Goodwood Motor Circuit. Is going to be a lot of country roads, so fingers crossed this car can maintain a pretty good level of MPG. Yeah, my heart is racing a little bit, but we're making good progress. See a sign for Petersfield. We're on the right tracks. Let's come off here and get cracking.
It was mentally challenging to concentrate for that level of time, but at that height as well. And also the fuel gauge was so interesting because it just went all over the place. Whether I was on a country road and not being that fuel efficient, or whether I was on a motorway, no matter what it was, whether there was traffic around me, that fuel gauge just moved up and down. So there was no computers on board to help us with this challenge, which made it incredibly mentally stimulating. But therefore I knew further down the line, when we were 17, 18, 19 hours into the challenge, and my endurance really had to be maintained. Right from the word go, as soon as I got in that car, I knew that was going to be a massive challenge.
There we go, there is the sign, Goodwood Motor Circuit. We've made it 80 miles down and we have got still 3/4 of a tank. This is surprisingly good on fuel. There's always an air about Goodwood. I love coming down here. It's just got an amazing atmosphere. I'm only going to pull in briefly because we don't have long. But here we go, Goodwood Motor Circuit. We were here for the Bugatti Chiron filming episode 2. We're now here, episode 4. I'm going to take a quick picture and then get up to Silverstone.
When we actually arrived in the town of Silverstone, there was a moment of elation, but also realization that we couldn't really get much filming done because the weather was so bad and we needed to get down to the bike swap as soon as possible. We were up against it time-wise, light-wise. We just drove straight past Silverstone. We did a loop around Silverstone. We knew that we couldn't get out because the weather was that bad that it had the potential of damaging all of our camera equipment. So in the end, we decided not to stop and just carry on going, and you'll see like the weather was like nothing I've really seen for a long time. And all I wanted to do was get on that bike, have a break from the drive, but also try and find a window where I could at least get used to it being on the bike and having the position where my body was going to be sat in for the next 4 hours or so. I'll be honest, when the challenge was first given to me and the motorbike element was presented, I was excited. I was like, I've got a new string to my bow this year. I can ride bikes. But when it comes down to a long distance ride, that's something I've never done before. And my knowledge and experience is not good enough to push myself on a bike. So actually, when I saw the weather and had experienced the first 6-7 hours in the car, I was not looking forward to this at all. I didn't really have proper waterproofs. I didn't have any knowledge. The only thing that I think was playing in my head was actually how nervous my family were, especially of me getting on that bike for a long period of time. And that was what was weighing over my shoulders. That sort of fear of what could potentially happen and the risks and the dangers that they're putting themselves in. And obviously I'm only doing a 4-hour ride on my bike, but I'm so inexperienced that I was a little bit nervous. But in the back of my head, I also had my family's worries as well. And yeah, it was that when I pulled up to get on the bike, that was the moment where I was like, right, now I've got to get my head down.
I hadn't got many miles under my belt, and this might sound cliche, but the Road 5 tyre felt smooth and sturdy underneath me, and on a bike, I couldn't believe just how close the relationship between the rider and tyre performance is, something that is vital nearly 8 hours into this challenge.
When I first jumped on the bike, there's always a 5-minute just loosening up. You got to loosen your body, you got to get yourself in a comfortable position. And that first hour that I was out on the bike, I made one mistake that I think if you ride bikes you'll have seen. Just before I did this challenge, I got really excited because I found a tinted visor that I could put on my helmet. And there's a fine balance between looking cool and being practical. And the light was fading, and I had a tinted visor on in the pouring rain. Now you can see the problem that I'm going to face is that actually I realised that it was safer to ride with my visor open so that I could see with my eyes. Within the first hour I had that realisation. I was like, I've made a massive mistake here. I've gone for looking cool rather than actually thinking about the challenge ahead, and all of a sudden your brain is constantly having these thoughts that, yeah, this could go all wrong. So once I got about halfway and I'd realised that I hadn't made any wrong turns and I was on the right tracks, I was on the right roads. The route was simple. The route was just get to Snowdonia. Halfway through, I definitely wanted to stop. My bum was numb, my back started to hurt, and I was just trying to move around as much as possible. It is not comfortable riding more than an hour, hour and a half on a bike, especially the CBR 650R. I think obviously there are bikes built for the cruising, but that is not one of them, and I definitely understand why a lot of people ride bikes and they do it in the dry, under beautiful riding conditions, because in the torrential rain, at night, with a tinted visor, on a super sports bike, probably not the one. It was coming up to about 9 o'clock and all I wanted to do was eat, but also sleep. So my endurance had hit an all-time low and my performance was obviously suffering for that. And all I could think about was getting to the end, getting to the hotel, getting to the bed and breakfast, because that last 45 minutes, like when you're doing any long journey and you turn off the motorway and you realise that you're on that final road, it just takes forever. I'm now about 9 hours in, knowing that I've pretty much done the kilometres that I needed to do without really any hiccups. And all I needed to do in the morning was run a marathon. That was what I was most excited about. And that was what was carrying me through. Everything in this challenge was mental games. And for me, knowing that I am there at the running, what I've trained so hard to do, and I was potentially going to achieve a marathon, something that a lot of people want and have on their bucket lists to achieve. That was what was getting me through. But that moment when I just pull in and realise that I'm there at the bed and breakfast, there is a bed waiting for me, that was where I was probably at my most content over the entire 24 hours. I needed to rest and I needed to sleep, and I thought that was the best moment to do it, so that I could wake up as fresh as possible. I could give myself time to recover from the bike, but also let my mind recover from all of the concentration that I'd done to get to this point. And I think when I woke up, there were a few challenges that I found. Firstly, the sunrise only came up at about 7:20, I think. So to begin with, I wanted to run at 6 a.m, but it was dark and there was no streetlights, so it was probably a little bit too dangerous. And it was also minus 3.5. Therefore, I was also nervous about the black ice. So when I was setting off, they were the things that were playing on my mind as to, if I fall in the first kilometre, then that could be the whole thing over. So I really had to make myself aware that resting was so important that it would enable me to even have these thoughts, to be going into this run with the biggest open mind possible, but also fighting myself to push through every single pain barrier that I had.
Morning. I'm going to run in that direction. I think it's about -3 at the moment. 7:30 in the morning. I've got 4.5 hours. So, sky's beautiful, there's a rainbow there. What more could you want?
Amazing and beautiful place that motivated and pushed me forwards to continue to run, just so that I can explore the scenery around. There was also that sense of, I'm running in Snowdonia, there are mountains here, so I am going to be running up elevations and I'm going to be running down, so I've got to manage my physical performance.
I could not believe what I was experiencing. My legs felt fresh and I had full confidence in my Michelin Under Armour trainers that during my training, I'd been running with a friend in cold temperatures and we came across some slippery tarmac which my friend really struggled with the grip, yet my shoes barely noticed the change. I was confident on my feet, which helps me power on.
Paul's just started doing, you know, he's gotten about 3/4 of the way through and he looks like he's really struggling. Like he's probably been going really strong for a good maybe 3 hours now. You know, he's nearly there and I'm really shocked that he's managed to get this far.
Halfway through, yeah, there was definitely moments that I wanted to quit. Distinctly remember that it was the slush that was getting sprayed onto my bare skin that was unbearable, in that everything else that was going on, I was having snow all over my face, and it was my lower half that really gave up. I still remember that 21 kilometers mark, and I remember looking down at my watch going, this is a big achievement, but it's not going to impress anyone. So that was the only thing that was carrying me forward. It was you guys. It was just that sense of, I need to make sure that I push through boundaries that I've never pushed before, so that it can resonate with the people that are going to be watching this.
I've never been so cold in my life. I've never been so wet in my life. I need to stretch. .7 kilometers. I need to go and walk. These up. Oh my god, I've got ice in my hands, like my coat is just that is like next level. And you know what, it's not even a marathon. I've like fallen a kilometre short. I can't feel my feet. My legs are like blocks of ice. From about 35 kilometers onwards, they just became lead. And it was just my muscle memory and my momentum that carried me through. But I can't believe That is by far the longest run I've ever done. 15 kilometers was my max before this. And up until this point, every month I'd ran 100 kilometers. And then in the space of like 4.5 hours, I've done 40% of that. I mean, I don't know how these guys do it. That run marathons, that run ultra marathons, that do Ironman, that do everything. I'm 92 kilos and these legs are as built as they're ever going to be, I think, for long distance running. But I've not got runner's legs, I've not got a body that, but overall, car, bike, running, it's the whole combined distance that matters. I can't think about the falling short of the last hurdle. I'm not doing a full marathon, but right now I just need to get dry clothes and I need to get warm because this can't be healthy. But there we go. Finished.
So we end the series exactly where we started, and to think 4 weeks ago I was sat here sharing my story about this life-changing moment, this crash that happened that changed not just my life but my family's life, because it altered how we lived and our lifestyles. And to have a moment where I realised that both my physical and mental health needed to change and I needed to do something about it was so important. And to be sat here after this incredible series and challenge that I have done in partnership with Michelin has been, I mean, a whirlwind of crazy emotions, because during the filming there were some long days, long nights, and hard times, and some great times. Just sat in a Bugatti Chiron was up there. But obviously to also see the amazing feedback that I got from you guys as to taking things to the next level on Supercars of London, and the production and everything that we did to make this series as good as we possibly could. And we're now here knowing through calculations and everything that we did over those 24 hours that I covered 780 kilometers. I did it. Ollie Webb, if you are watching, I surpassed 750 kilometers and I did 30 more kilometers. I only just did it. And I think being able to put 750 kilometers into perspective in a way that we have done with this extreme triathlon just goes to show how impressive it is that Michelin have this long-lasting performance tyre that can achieve such ridiculous distances during race conditions. This is at 100% optimal performance. They're doing 750 kilometers. I can't get my head around it, but actually doing this challenge has helped me do that. 100% I am a safer driver in all weather conditions because of this series that I did and because of what I saw whilst I was doing the challenge. Also, I don't think I would have been able to go anywhere near a marathon if it wasn't for the trainers. I said in episode 3 that it was a little bit of, oh, let's put some Michelin trainers on. But actually, with the conditions that we had, minus 3.5, with snow, if I didn't have Michelin soles that were designed to give you confidence on your feet when you're running, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I'd have been slipping all over the place. I probably would have fallen over. But the whole thing rounded together, to think that I achieved the 750 kilometer benchmark and also went above and beyond what I was expecting from a production creativity point of view with this series has blown my mind. And also it's a proud moment of me to kind of end this series with a very, very positive note that if you set your mind to something and you kind of just get on with it, don't listen to what anyone else says and just focus and almost be in competition with yourself, because that is the one thing that has carried me through with my running. But if you can find something where you can be in competition with yourself and compete with yourself, that healthy mindset is massively, massively undervalued and also underappreciated. And to be here at the end of 2019, signing off from what has been probably the greatest decade of my life and one that I'm going to remember forever, to be in this physical and mental mindset that I'm in is just the greatest feeling of all time, seriously. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have enjoyed this incredible Supercars of London and Michelin series. Massive thank you to everyone that has been involved. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you for all of your support. Merry Christmas. Subscribe, like and comment on the Supercars of London channel, and I will be delivering one hell of a video to sign off 2019. I will see you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.